All right, my friends, this week on Prof and Dev Play Games, we're talking a little bit of Xbox news, and then we are catching up because we haven't talked to each other in a couple of weeks on this podcast. Stay tuned. All right, my friends, welcome to episode 455 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry. I am the professor at Prof Plays Games on Blue Sky, which I'm actually fucking using now. And over there is Anthony the Dev at Summer Speak. It's been a couple weeks, man. We haven't talked since pre-election, man. We're in a new world. How you doing?
We are in a new world. I'm doing fine overall. Just kind of heads down, just working through work and then just life and kids and all of that.
Hell yeah.
Myself occupied. I'm also using Blue Sky more now because everyone has moved over there. And it's great and I love it.
Yep, it's pretty nice. It was really quiet for a real long time, but now it's more stuff going on.
All my favorite people that I followed on Twitter are now on Blue Sky and just posting there, and it makes me happy. Because I'm just like, oh, I get that. And really no bots or really anything like that. It's just it's what I want out of a social media thing where I'm like, no, I'm following people that just post things that I like to see. Yeah. And generally feel good stuff. So yeah, it's been crazy to watch that explode.
Yeah, man. Since the election, the exodus has been quite staggering. Yeah. I wanted to say, why didn't you, years ago you could have done this, but whatever. I'm happy that you're here. I'm not going to be mad. So
cool. Things have to get to a tipping point. I think the election is one of it, and it was just Blue Sky was just at the right place, kind of at the right time, and the number of people that were there and how it was kind of trending.
Yep.
To be the place that people would jump to or feel like, okay, we've hit critical mass. Let's go.
I also feel like it looks so similar to what you'd expect if you were a Twitter user.
It just is.
So it really just looks like it. Yeah.
With no ads.
Nothing. My wife was on, I saw at the corner of my eye, she was using social media and I thought it was Twitter. And I grabbed her phone. I was like, is this Twitter? And I was like, oh, it's Blue Sky. You're on Blue Sky now. She's like, yeah, are you? I was like, yep. I haven't used it that much, but it happened recently lately. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And on Blue Sky, I saw a tweet from a company, a game actually. It's called Astroneer. I don't know if you heard about it, but they talked about how they released something called Glitchwalkers. I don't know if you want to tell us about that.
Yeah. So Systemera released the first DLC expansion for Astroneer after, this has been 5.5 years since 1.0 release, 8.5 since its early access. Put out a first kind of expansion, adds a whole new planet with a variable tech tree, remixes a lot of things from the base game. You can go through a FAQ and see all the cool information about how this whole thing works. But it is it's fun. It's a neat new challenge for Astroneer, and based on how the past week went, people wanted more content. So it's been good. Not that we're not stopping doing free updates as well, but there is a certain level of update that costs a fair amount of development time and money, and this proves out that people are willing to pay for a little bit. We're not asking a lot, $10 for probably about 15 to 20 hours of content.
That's a great value proposition.
Yeah, we definitely didn't wanted to make it feel really good there. And yeah, I think our assumptions proved out that people want this type of content. Yeah. So,
well, very cool. Congratulations on the launch and the success. Saw the base game in the Steam charts and the DLC in the same day in the Steam charts. So that's gotta feel good.
Yeah, it's insane. I was going there now to see where it in a non-logged in Steam top sellers. I want to see games and downloadable content. and not free to play. Um, Astroneer still, it's not in the top 10 anymore. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 12. Astroneer itself is number 12, and then Glitchwalkers is somewhere down in the top 25-ish, top 30-ish. So, still doing fine. It's great for a game as old as Astroneer to be still selling that well.
Yeah, man, that's very cool.
I'm like, doesn't everybody who wants it already own it? Kind of felt the same years ago with Bejeweled at PopCap, where
Yeah,
it's like,
sure.
why does this keep selling? Does it?
I keep thinking about that with No Man's Sky, where they have a new update and it's back in the top 10. I was like, seriously, how does no one else have this game? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, why haven't you bought it already? Like,
Exactly.
why? What now was the reason that you chose?
Yep.
So, it's been great. Very excited for that.
Well, congratulations. And hopefully one day Astroneer will be playable on the Xbox handheld.
Oh, geez.
Phil Spencer has read my mind. He said, we are working on an Xbox handheld console, but it's years away. And you know what else is years away? The next gen launch for PlayStation and Xbox. And God damn it, if the handheld Xbox is not part of the launch lineup for the next gen, I will be surprised.
Yeah.
I will be surprised.
I was thinking on this, and it actually probably lines up with why Valve's even been like, "Hey, we're not doing another Steam Deck right now." Like a new, like those,
except for that white one,
the white one. Like they can change, but change the look, and they will probably do other special edition looks. But internals are still at a place, and I think this probably holds for any kind of Xbox handheld as well, that the processor and GPU tech just isn't there for it. And not that it's not powerful enough, it's just power hungry.
Yeah, sure.
And that's what Valve's whole thing is like, we don't have a thing yet that would get good battery life with more power. Like the latest GPUs, the latest AMD processors, they're just way more power hungry than what the current Steam Deck is built on. And they need to wait for that kind of, for something to shift there. And I feel like Xbox is in a very similar spot too, because I can only imagine it would be built on an x86 platform. Unlike Switch, which is using NVIDIA tech or other things that are using ARM now, which are way less power hungry. But I don't know. I say that now, and I'm like, oh, wait, there's a lot of stuff with Windows being built for ARM now, and ARM laptops.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Apple is doing ARM laptops. They last for freaking ever, and there's new Windows ones. There's versions of Windows now from Microsoft that run on ARM. So maybe that is a change, that they'll be like, no. You want to handheld the next consoles? We're using ARM, and it's going to be way less power hungry.
That's sort of why maybe it's years away, because there's a lot of stuff to solve here. It's battery tech,
software,
other things. So it's possible. I just think it's exciting to think about. This generation, the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, two very different SKUs, making it make sense with a handheld. I don't know. It just seems like the logical place to go to differentiate yourself from PlayStation, especially if they're not going there. Like Nintendo has differentiated itself from Sony and Microsoft by doing a lot of weird shit. And it's, except for the Wii U, mostly paid off. So I can see Xbox trying to do the same thing. Similarly to their, this is an Xbox, everything's an Xbox campaign they're doing right now. It just makes a lot of sense to be like, we are everywhere, including this handheld that, that you can download shit to. But at the same time, the ROG Ally is a fucking Xbox. You can download your Game Pass games there and play them natively. You don't have to stream them. So
because just a Windows PC. Yeah, exactly. At that point, whatever the hell version of Windows runs on that thing.
I have no idea. Some crappy mobile one.
Bad version of Windows. And this will give them time to fix that. That's the key problem that they need to fix on Xbox side of things.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I always like. stuff is said like this, and it's like, oh, it's years away, and I'm like, well, I give it probably a 50-50 of actually coming out if it's years away.
That's true too. They
Just
don't
because
solve.
Microsoft and leadership changes.
Yep.
I mean, who's to say, like, yes, Phil Spencer wants to do more consoles and everything, but who's to say executives and CEO of Microsoft are like, yeah, actually, we don't want to push that any further.
Yeah,
like
right.
we're done with that. We want to spend the money on AI or cloud or web based things. Like,
We
just
don't want to
continue
keep
Game
losing
Pass,
money.
make games. We're not going to make hardware for it
Yep.
anymore. Just sell your game. Oh, sell your games other places. Oh, look, we're selling them now on all these other platforms, and that actually is making us a bunch more money. Why are we doing hardware?
Yep.
Like that's why I just say that big giant companies like that are going to go where the money is, so it's never a sure thing right now. I bet Phil Spencer wants it to be a sure thing,
Yeah.
but he doesn't get final say.
No, clearly not anymore. No, you
Yeah.
spent our money, $69 billion. Now we tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So, but that's cool.
So
You know,
I
don't know. It's exciting to know that there's perhaps, possibly, maybe some innovation happening over there. I think that's all good. Only for a couple of reasons. One, an Xbox handheld. It'd be cool to see what that is. But more, Sony needs competition. Jesus Christ.
Yes, they do.
Need someone pushing them a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah. Doing something, because right now it doesn't look it doesn't look like anything, and they don't really consider Nintendo competition. So
No. Either Xbox or Sony is like you get one of those and a Switch. Like Switch comes with, or PC and a Switch. People are grabbing the Switch and something else.
Yeah. I think they would both be like, you're crazy not to have a Switch.
Yep.
Everyone, like, I'm sure Phil Spencer's like, of course I have a Switch.
Yep, exactly. Oh, no, he's talked about it repeatedly on the Xbox podcast. They talk about playing Switch games a lot, actually. And then obviously Microsoft games are coming everywhere now, including in part of this news was Halo. He's like, Halo 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, duh. It's coming. I mean, honestly, I'd probably buy the Master Chief Collection on PS5 just because that would be so weird to see.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, also from his interview, like they're just, for Phil Spencer, they're not done with hardware. He wants to make more consoles. He wants this handheld. I think Microsoft and Xbox just need to figure out what that actually is and how to make that enticing for consumers. Because clearly the Series S and X hasn't been. Like, the X especially. Series S has been better, but they're still a third of what a PS5 is install base at the moment. And, geez, like a sixth of a Switch. Or less.
Less than less.
It's insane. So I think that's the big thing. They just need to go back and be like, okay, what do people actually want? And what can they provide?
Yep. Well, the handheld is a nice spot to go because there's not a ton there. The Steam Deck, the Switch did, but then the Steam Deck blew.
Yeah, they just basically competing with the Steam Deck more than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And getting in front of these other companies that are making Windows-based handhelds, and then Microsoft can actually just make a better Windows-based handheld. We'll see. That would be my thought, is that they would be then directly trying to compete with Steam Deck and on that avenue. Again, less Switch. I doubt they're going to try directly.
No, and why? Yeah, I mean, just why?
They don't have Zelda. They don't have Mario. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Like, that's they don't have Metroid.
It's the IP, baby.
I'm
a little disappointed that the Metroid's franchise, for whatever games are on Switch, have only sold about 5 million copies. I know that it's a niche genre or a niche IP, but Jesus, there are 130 million Switches out there or whatever. Like, only 5 million? Fuck. And that's with that's Dread and Prime remastered.
But I mean, that's like, and Dread is 3 million, which I think, I'm looking up quickly, is estimated that is the best selling Metroid game.
It is, absolutely is. That's right.
It's like 3 million copies. Like, The next highest selling that even broke 1 million was Prime 2.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Metroid Prime series, Prime 2 and Prime 3 broke 1 million. The original Prime
All
got
together?
no, each one
Oh,
separately.
okay.
The original Metroid Prime on GameCube was 2.84 million. Metroid Prime 2 was 1.10, and Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii was 1.4 million. And then all the SNES and GBA ones all hovered right around like 1.5 million. So
Yeah.
it's not a big franchise for Nintendo. It's consistent, but it's not. It's never been the biggest, unfortunately. Which is why you probably don't see it all that often. But I am impressed that Dread sold as high as it did. That's actually really good.
Yeah. Well, that bodes well for more titles for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be Mercury Steam still making the next ones.
Yeah.
But Prime 4 is first, baby. So.
Yep.
Speaking of Nintendo, they had a report come out on election day about Switch 2 being back compat, which was the hit of positive news I needed that day, my friends. So yeah, I can use my carts and probably, I assume my digital library too onto the Switch 2.
Yeah, I think in that same report they said it was going to use Nintendo Online as well.
Yeah, and they said that before too. So
yeah,
everything's coming over, man.
Yeah. Was that the day that the same week they put out the music streaming app, their own?
That was a week before, at least.
Okay.
I've had that on my phone. I've had that on my phone for a couple weeks. It was like Alarmo, and then it was the music app, which I use that music app a lot. It's really good. They keep dropping new stuff, which brings me back to it, which is, Nintendo does their thing where they're like, here's NSO. We're going to give you 5 NES games and then 1 every 4 weeks or whatever. They're doing the same thing with the music, but it's kind of cool because I keep coming. It says like, Donkey Kong Country 2 has released. Well, fuck yeah, I'm going to go there and download that and listen to it today.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's really, really good.
It's funny because it's such a Nintendo thing of being like, no, we're not putting our music on other apps. We're just making our own app where you can only listen to our music.
And only if you're an NSO member. So
I'm like, oh, Nintendo, never change. But they they know the value of their IP.
Absolutely.
That's the thing about it. They don't want to inshitify it across everything.
Well, I keep thinking about it in terms of Ubisoft right now. What the fuck is that game called? Star Wars Outlaws, where it came out. It wasn't great. It had 70s kind of reviews. But there's enough about it that I was like, I'm interested in this. I think I'm going to pick it up, but it's Ubisoft. I'm going to wait till it goes on sale. They'll be on sale in like 3 weeks. It has not gone on sale yet. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're starting to realize they shouldn't be dropping the price of their games so quickly because people just wait for the Ubisoft sale. So this is the first one I've seen, like Prince of Persia went on sale pretty quickly. Yeah. Everything goes on sale pretty quickly, except for this one. And it's what Nintendo does where they don't put shit on sale. And if they do, it's only like 33% off or whatever. And that's it. Or $20 off or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And yeah, that can be argued. They're like, oh man, Nintendo is anti-consumer or anything. And I still come back to it. They just value their IP.
Exactly. Which makes you value it.
Yeah, exactly. It is a known tactic of being in marketing, being like, if the company values its IP and feels that it acts like it's actually premium, it will help the perception that it's actually premium.
Absolutely. Yep.
But they treat their product as premium, and they always have. They no, the things Nintendo make, they're like, we make good things.
Well, it also pushes people. I'll speak for myself. It pushes me to buy day of, day one, because I know it's not going to go on sale for a fucking year. So,
and when it does, it's not going to be that much.
And exactly. So if I want it, might as well get it. First day that it's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably all the video game news that I can think of in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. It really hasn't been other than those, and like even that Phil Spencer thing was just like a one-off comment. It's actually pretty quiet, which is great. I'm okay with.
We're headed into, I guess when this publishes, the Game Awards nominees will be out. So maybe real quick, game of the year. What 6 are up there? Do you think?
Well, they put out that thing saying that the expansions can be included and DLC
Do you
can be
think they told
included.
the outlets that before they voted?
I don't know. I think probably some outlets were arguing because they wanted Erdtree in
Yeah,
there,
for sure.
and this is how. So Erdtree, I guarantee, is going to be in a bunch of categories.
Yeah.
Crap, what else? Now, what came out this year? I don't know. Stuff.
I mean, Helldivers 2, Metaphor ReFantazio, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Metaphor is going to be in there. Final Fantasy. I bet Rebirth will be in there. I don't think it will win.
No, but I think it'll be there too.
Astrobot will be there. Yeah, my thought is Astrobot's going to be there. Yep. Metaphor is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Rebirth will probably show up. Erdtree will show up. And then let's give like a little tiny thing. Balatro is going to be there.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Balatro.
I think Balatro will be... there's no chance it wins. But I bet Balatro gets into the, like, for Game of the Year. So many people just play it, and so many people at, like, the news outlets and people that would be doing the judging on this. Like...
Oh, man.
Play the crap out of Balatro.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Balatro. I fucking forgot about that, and that's a good call.
Yeah, it's so indie. It would be shocking if it won, but...
no, for sure. I wish that...
I do think Metaphor will be in there.
Yeah.
Helldivers. I think Echoes of Wisdom will probably be in RPG. Action Adventure, I don't know all the categories, honestly. But I bet it will be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm thinking for Game of the Year, Helldivers 2 is in there. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is in there. Astrobot's in there. Shadow of the Erdtree is in there. Metaphor is in there. And, I just want to throw a fun one in there that I don't think we've ever seen before, but who knows? Maybe this is the year. Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Oh, sure.
Oh, man.
Did that come out yet?
What? Black Ops 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. Of course. Why would I pay attention to it?
Why? Yeah, it's not on your radar. Yeah. I've heard a ton of people talking about the campaign.
Sure.
So, the multiplayer, whatever. But anyway, so we'll know tomorrow. The nominees are out tomorrow, which is cool. We'll talk about those next week. Yeah. Looking forward to what there is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we play some Catchup then? What have you been playing the last few weeks?
Comfort food heavily in the past week and a half, 2 weeks. So a lot of Diablo 4. Like,
oh wow, okay,
an ungodly amount of Diablo 4.
Shit.
I am hunting mythic uniques now. I completed everything from the season journey.
Oh wow, okay.
Not just the season pass, like finished that, but I season journeyed all the way through. I've started a rogue, went through the entire thing as a rogue, skipping story, and completely got up my rogue into mythic, unique territory. I put a lot of hours into this game now. I'm like, oh no.
That is cool.
But I need comfort food, and that was my comfort food game. Yeah. And yeah, I'm still having a blast with it. I think that it is mechanically where I want an action RPG to be. And I have chase, and I understand kind of the in-game chase now, and doing bosses and the boss ladders, in-game boss ladders. I just have to kill 5 people in PvP, and then I'd have my platinum in the game.
Really? It comes down to the PvP. Yep. Okay.
Yep. You have to kill 5 people. I just have to do PvP at some point.
Can you kill the same person 5 times?
I don't know. But
I can just load up and you can just fucking wail on me.
Sure. It's really funny though. I'm like, okay. Yeah, because I killed the Echo of Lilith finally.
Okay.
And that was great. That was like trivial. Yeah, I went deep. It is the exact right game. Just be like, nah, I'm just gonna do this, press buttons, and watch things blow up and get loot, and farm, and that's kind of what I needed.
You and
That's
Elon
my
Musk in the top 10 Diablo 4
oh
players in the
Jesus.
world.
I don't believe he's in there at all.
You think it's bullshit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I sure.
I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Top 10. I'm like, what do you measure yourself top 10 by? I don't even know. Leader is there leaderboards? I guess there's a little. I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't checked, and I don't care.
We don't need to speculate on Leon.
Yeah. But so there was that, and then Metaphor. I'm fighting the super bosses in Metaphor. I started playing Diablo 4 because I didn't want to think too hard.
Yeah, sure.
And you have to think real hard on those. There's like 4 dragons. Super bosses on the last like 2 weeks of the game, of the in-game time. And so this is the time when I'm going to try doing those. They're hard. They are hard. And it's a learning process of being like, okay, what class should I be? What gear should I have equipped, and accessories for status effects should I have? And even then, if I screw up or if a boss does a weird chain of attacks, I can just be wiped and need to start again.
Oh, wow.
So they are hard. We'll see how long if I try to get through it because there's a trophy behind it, or if I'll just be like, screw it, I don't care. I'm just going to finish the game. But I think that's probably part of Thanksgiving break. I'll make a choice and just either beat them or finish it.
Yeah.
So that's been great still. Yeah, it definitely deserves to be on a Game of the Year shortlist. It's probably one of the best things Atlas and that team has done in a very long time. So that was cool. And then I mentioned to you, other people can know about, I was an IGF judge this year. So I was just playing dozens of indie games.
That's very cool.
Just so much. I won't say which way I voted on anything. Like, so I should actually say the structure is different. A judge doesn't means I'm playing nominees, or not nominees, entries, and then I nominate them for, if I feel like it, what categories they could be nominated for. And then there's a jury that will look at the top 10 nominated in each category.
Mm-hmm.
And the jury's small, like maybe a dozen people, maybe less, actually.
Yeah.
And they debate which one gets the win.
That's cool. So you're not judging on who gets the award, but like who gets in.
No, I'm saying who should be up for the award.
That's a cool way to do that. Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of judges, and being a judge just has less responsibility. If you're part of the jury, you'll be debating it a lot over the next few months and playing a lot, which is fine. If I ever feel like it, I might do the jury or see about doing it. But judging was fun. I got to play a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff that's been out, and a lot of stuff that hasn't come out yet. I can't say, like, I will say some of the best things I play. That Blue Prince game I linked in Discord.
Yeah, man.
That is that I was not expecting a game like that, and it is a have a notebook because you're going to take notes through this entire thing. For people listening, it is on Steam. It's called Blue Prince, which is like the monarchical status prince. But it is a pun on blueprints. Because you're going into a house, you don't know what's gone on. I think it's your grandma's house. They've passed away and given it to you. And every day it reconfigures itself. And you go in. The intro has 3 doors off of it. When you open a door, you get a platter of rooms, like bedrooms, hallways, bathroom, storage room, kitchen, bunch of other stuff, security room. And you place it at that door. Like, so you're drafting these options of rooms and trying to build a path through the house to the antechamber. At the end, I never reached the antechamber through my plays. But the rooms can be puzzles in themselves, little logic puzzle you need to solve in there to get rewards, and you get resources as you go, and you spend those resources in other rooms to get upgrades for your current run. It is completely a roguelike, and was really neat.
Art
But it's not combat. It is not. There's no combat. It is a roguelike adventure game.
Yeah.
Where you're just like really, I'm taking notes, trying to figure out like little bits of information from different rooms that have pictures, letters on tables, and like reading the letter and being like, oh, I'm learning clues. And so if I draft another room, I now know some information about this other room I can be in now, and start connecting the dots. It's very, someone said it was like a roguelike Myst in some ways, and I don't think that's wrong. It's unlike something I've met before, really. It was really, really neat. I highly look forward to that one. What did I play? Solium Infernum, which is a 4X that you're fighting over the throne of hell.
Okay, all right.
It is really, as a 4X, like...
Ha! That's so cool.
Oh, it is really freaking cool. It is complex, but not as complex as I was expecting, and it's really, as you would expect from Hell, type stuff. It's actually very focused on politics and intrigue.
Sure.
As a 4X. It was neat, and they have asynchronous multiplayer. So you can set, because everyone's turn is simultaneous. So you can set it so like you can do up to a 10-person game where everyone has a day to input their turn. And then
oh my God, cool.
Turns get processed all at once. You see the results and you choose what you do next. And on your turn, you can do 2 actions. So you have to, that's what actually keeps it a little bit limited, is you have limited things. There's a lot you can do, but you can only ever do 2 things. So it's really about figuring out what the best things to do are for your turn. The async simultaneous multiplayer. I'm like, that's my shit.
That sounds neat. What's that one called again?
It is Solium Infernum.
Oh, Jesus.
It's out. It's already out.
So how do I spell this?
Solium.
Okay, that'll probably pull it up. There it is. Solium Infernum. And of course, Bill wants this game. Every fucking cool game that I hear about, I look at, Bill has already wishlisted it.
This game is, it came out, I think it's
in February,
one of the highest rated games of the year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It reviewed very, very well.
We missed it on our...
I did. I was really sad.
Yeah. Metacritic of 85, it looks like. The async, that sounds fucking dope, man.
88. It was 88 on OpenCritic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I was like completely went under my radar. I was like, man, it's cool. If you, as a 4X type thing, I was like, okay, this is new and interesting. And
shout out to a reviewer on Steam with the username of IX, which could be 9 or IX, who knows, or X. Political simulator set in literal hell. If that doesn't sound at least interesting to you, then you're boring.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Amazing. That's so good. I need to award you, my friend. I'm going to add that to my wish list.
That was a cool one. UFO 50, I finally played a bunch of those.
Finally, fuck.
I didn't play. I mean, I can't even remember all the ones I played. Some of them are just terrible. Yeah. I hate them. Some I love. But that's experience. That's how it goes. It's a meta experience. I'm like, yeah, this is making me feel things I haven't felt in a long time, with like that feeling of having a new console and being young and being like, yeah, I just have games. I don't know what they're going to be good or not, and I just have them.
That's right.
That was a fun one to play. That one's out. Arco, which I sent to you, which is it's 2D super hot, basically. Turn-based, but it's like bullets only move as you move kind of thing on your turn. Freeform movement set in like an alternate Wild West-ish time
it's
period.
Mesoamerican fantasy RPG, man.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's out on Steam right now. That was a fun one to play.
Well, I picked it up. I hope to play it before the end of the year. How Long to Beat has it around a 10-hour game.
Yeah, it's not that long. Yeah. I need to finish it. I got about halfway through it and was like, oh, this is cool. But yeah, so I mean, I played I think I played about 20 games overall. 10, I was required to do 10, and then I picked 10 more once I finished those 10. Because you get assigned 10 games you have to review first, and once you play and enter ratings or not, say like if you'll nominate this or not for anything, then you can go pick any games you want out of the I think there was like 200 games people that had been submitted. So it was a lot of fun. Shout out to my boss for saying like, hey, do you want to judge for this? And she was like, here's a link, sign up for it.
That's super cool.
Because it's not open to like general public to just sign up for it. Like this is kind of referral. And she is on the design board for GDC. So she knows all these things.
That's so cool. Well, I'm glad you had the opportunity. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I did too. I'm like, this is great.
Gems.
Yeah, there's a lot of good gems there. Did I do anything else in these past 2.5 weeks? No, it was IGF stuff. Oh, I played Slay the Princess, Pristine Cut.
Oh, yeah.
Well. Through to a completion, to like a full completion.
Really? Nice. What did you...
Not like all the... There's
no, of course. You got an ending, I assume.
A real ending, not the fake good ending.
Yeah. Sure.
There's a fake early good ending, but I got a real... I thought it was neat. I think I love the art and the direction of it and trying to figure out what's going on. It was a little bit weirdly too meta for me in its final story and everything, but that's fine.
Yeah,
it had some neat twists. I wouldn't put it up there as high as Doki Doki Literature Club for a visual novel choose your own adventure thing, but it was cool to play through. I'm glad I did. It's really violent sometimes.
Yeah.
Like holy shit. Unexpectedly, and other times not at all. Like super serene. It was it's a very strange game. It's a very unique game. I think if it's on sale, I would recommend people pick it up. If they like visual novel, choose your own adventure kind of story stuff.
Yeah, it's really engaging. I feel the same way as you, where Doki Doki, I mean, we played it for our game club, so I was committed to finishing it. And I've gotten two or three endings in Slay the Princess, and I really like it in a similar way. I just feel like it's a little bit overwritten. And it kind of pulls me out a little bit, but not too much. It's still really cool. So good stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I have been playing, let's see here. I'll start with the small stuff first. I picked up Pokemon card game Pocket, whatever, on iOS. And started playing that. Really, it's developed by DNA with the Pokemon company, but it does the Nintendo thing where it like tutorializes the shit out of the opening and very talky. So I'm like not even through to like battling yet. You have to get to level 3 before you battle. And then when I started to battle, it said, okay, you're ready to battle. Now here's a tutorial about how to battle. I was like, okay, fuck this. I'm putting this down. So I'm going to get back to it, and I want to get more into the game itself past the tutorial, but I was just not feeling how much tutorial there was. Then my daughter and I have been playing Lego Horizon Adventures.
Nice.
And I was a little bummed because the reviews, in some way I wasn't bummed because you picked up for Fantasy Critic, but I was a little bummed that the reviews were kind of low. It was sitting around 71, 2 or something like that, 3 maybe. And people were just complaining about how it was repetitive and it wasn't really like other Lego games in the past did more with the Lego ideas, and it wasn't that funny and all that stuff. And I was like, oh man, I was looking forward to playing this with my daughter. She was looking forward to it too. And we picked it up and played it together, and it's fucking fantastic. Like it is, I swear to God, it's meant for this. Either you as a kid or you as a parent playing with your kid. It's fantastic. It's funny as fuck. It looks amazing. It plays really well. I can see how the mission structure is repetitive, where you are at your central Mother Heart village.
Sure.
And then you go off onto a mission on one of the branches of the exits, and then you get to choose like six. There's like 6 or 8 missions or whatever in a row, and they kind of go through similar areas. And I can see why it gets repetitive for some people, but playing with my daughter, it's perfect, man. They're like short little missions. She knows what to do. The dialogue and the writing is fucking hilarious. The voice acting is great. I'm having such a good time. We've played probably 4 hours, and I think it's an 8-hour game, so we're probably halfway through, and have been enjoying it so much. She asked, like, when can we play again? We're going to beat this game, just like we did Astrobot. She suffers gaming ADD like I do, where we started Zelda, and then we went to Brothership, and she loved both of those, but the new shiny is, the new shiny.
Yeah.
So then Lego Horizon Adventures, a friend of hers in class is also playing it, so she was really excited to play it when he was too, and she's just so into it. It's really, really good for what it is. If I were playing by myself, I would probably see some of the criticisms other people have levied against it, being repetitive or shallow, or there's not a lot to the secrets. Like if you find a secret area, you're like building a piece of the scenery, and then it just is there. There's no real point to it. And then the other thing I've been playing is Final Fantasy 1, playing it for the RPG Backlog podcast with Travis and Tom. And I wouldn't say that I've been dreading it, but I'm like, I want to go back to the roots and see where Final Fantasy started. But it's a, an old school JRPG, fucking, 87. It's not going to hook me. And I know that, but I want to play it for playing its sake and to learn from it. And I was so wrong. It is so good. And I think it's probably because of the quality of life stuff, because I'm also listening to Jesus Christ. I'm listening to No One Can Know About This.
Oh, you are, right?
I am.
You're the one who told me about this podcast so long ago. And
I know.
Like seasons of this podcast as they're playing through these original games.
Well, I'm realizing now that it's so much better to listen to it after you've played the game, for me at least.
Oh, sure.
Because, until this year, I've only played Final Fantasy 15. So now this year it's been like fucking Final Fantasy year. So now I'm listening up to the point where I've gotten to in the game, and it's just so fantastic. Like even Final Fantasy 1 is their first season, and it's still, if you don't know what the podcast is, it records them playing, and then they edit that in with like things they say from the future after they've been done playing.
As they're editing it.
Yes, exactly. And it's so good, the insights they have about the game. But they're playing on the NES, so they're playing unmodified, no QoL quality of life.
Nope.
And it's just like they are pulling their hair out with this fucking game.
It's really funny.
It's so funny. But I would just be like, if I had to play that game, I would not. I would have put it down. But with the quality of life, like, it's sped up a little bit. I'm doing 2x experience, 4x gold, so those things never really are a concern. And there's a million walkthroughs, so if I'm lost, I can just be like, oh, okay, where am I supposed to go? And I know I've read this before, but experiencing it is making me realize how true it was. It's fucking D&D. It is like D&D for through and through, absolutely. And it makes me, like there's level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever of magic
spells. Yeah,
exactly.
Advanced spell system.
Yeah, and then when you use the magic, like you're done until you can like long rest, basically.
Yep.
And I was just like, holy shit, this is like later in Final Fantasy where it doesn't quite do that, but it does like I'm going to butcher these names, but like Fida to Faraga or whatever with the fire advancing. Yeah. Like it's that same kind of idea. And like how much of this game, from the questing to the magic spells I was talking about, to the gear, to the hit rate, like you're missing shit constantly. Like you're not hitting your spells like you should be. Yep. To choosing your class. Like it's D&D. It is all D&D. I don't know why I'm so shocked by this, but I am.
No, that's what it came from. Like interviews and stuff before, they like were very inspired by D&D. And they kind of wholesale took parts of it. MP didn't show up until 2. 2 is when they dropped that spell system and went to like an MP spell system.
But MP's in this.
Is it?
Well, let me rephrase that. Because when I drop a cottage or drop a tent or whatever in the fucking open world, it's like you can restore your HP and MP. But I think that just means you can refill your spell slots.
Spell slots.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know. I mean, that might be a Pixel Remaster thing where they call it MP. I wonder if it's called MP originally.
Well, it probably is a Pixel Remaster. Actually, it doesn't make sense because there is no MP meter. It's just the spell slots. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what it originally was called back in the day. But yeah, that makes sense. But it's spell slots. It's heavily inspired by D&D.
Fuck, man.
Like even the classes are very D&D. A lot of them are.
Oh yeah.
They have their own, but then they also have one. You're like, yep, that's a D&D thing. Yep. That never shows up in Final Fantasy again, but it's in 1.
I'm so sad that you're not doing this with us because I want to talk to you about it so bad. It's so good, and I cannot believe it. I'm so happy this year is where I like got into Final Fantasy, like from fucking finishing 16, starting and finishing 12, 1, 7 remake, 7 rebirth, and playing quite a bit of 6, which I need to get back to after this. It's just like, man, they're so fucking good, these games. And everyone knows this, but goddamn, they really are. And I love how varied they are from each other.
Yeah. That's going to be the crazy thing if you go to 2. Because 2 is
how radically different it is. Yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. I mean, the combat system still plays roughly the same. Like the way that it's the four characters there and like select their actions, but 2 is divisive. It's been divisive. This franchise has been divisive with fans since the beginning. Right. That's just what it is. But yeah, that's cool that you're playing that. I do know one other thing that you've been playing because I see it in my YouTube feed all the time.
Oh, please tell me what it is because I don't know.
Veilguard.
Jesus Christ! Sorry, duh. My mind is cooked. Fucking Veilguard, man, is I don't know how to feel about this game because I'm having a great time playing it. I think it looks good. I think that the writing is okay. I think the characters are interesting. The combat, I think, is really fun, but everything feels so smooth. There's no friction. There's no friction between the characters. There's no friction between me and the world. It is like, easy to get to missions that kind of are quick and engaging. And like, there's nothing bad about the game. And more I hear from people who've played all the way through, like they are just enamored by the game by the end, especially with the ending. And I want to get to it. And I will continue to play this game because I'm enjoying playing it. But there's something about it that's not hooking me. Like I want to, I'm not thinking about it every day. In fact, I fucking forgot about it until you mentioned it.
I watched a couple hours of stream when one of my streamers I really like he's been playing it actually for weeks at this point, and he'll probably beat it here soon. But I watched about 2 weeks ago. I've probably seen about 3 hours of it. The one thing for me that I can say, like, combat does look like a lot of fun. Like that, the mechanics of the game look really fun. It didn't feel like Dragon Age to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
It just doesn't. It's not dark fantasy. Like,
not at all.
That seems to be lost. And I was like, okay, am I just misremembering here on the whole thing? And I'm like, okay, what books do I have from Dragon Age? Like where they talk about it. I have like lore, like the World of Thetis books.
Sure.
They specifically call this place a dark fantasy. Like Dragon Age as a universe, as an IP, is dark fantasy. It's not like Warhammer fantasy dark, but it's dark.
Yeah.
And watching the stream, I'm just like, there's nothing. This isn't dark. Like this doesn't feel connected really with the universe before in that way. And that was the part that made me sad because I'm like, I'm not one who's like, oh, we need Dragon Age Origins again because that was like the CRPG and people want that term. Like, I've I've been fine for every iteration of this game series. Fine with Inquisition. I played the crap out of it. And Dragon Age 2, love the story there, and again, but it had a dark edge to it, and I was like, where is the dark edge? Like, why is this gone? This should be dark. Honestly, with what the story is telling at this point, it should be dark. Like, there's no, it shouldn't feel this bright and cheery.
It really is, to the point where there's a choice you make where you meet a couple of characters and there's like dragons attacking like each of their towns, and it's like, who do you choose to defend? I'm like, well, I'm going to choose this person because I'm aligned with, I'm from that same city, and I expect to like piss off the other person. Not really. Like, okay, come later. Like, it's not, there's no friction, and it's not dark. It is all very happy Pixar kind of storytelling where everyone just gets along, and again, just no friction. And I'm still enjoying it, but I've been playing it as I've been playing it lately. I'm just like, I would not recommend this for Anthony. He would not enjoy this very much, and I don't think he would.
I think that where I put it now is I'm going to wait for it to go on sale at some point, and I'll probably play it because I just like a good RPG in general, and I like the mechanics of the RPG system look fun.
Yeah,
but I'm going to have to disconnect my feelings of the tone of the games before.
Yeah, right.
Which is fine. It's just I'm just like, this seems weird. Like, why? And as you said, the writing, even with the stream I watched, seemed okay.
Yeah,
nothing stood out great to it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, for me, it's like nothing has stood out. Not a single thing has stood out as like, wow, that's amazing. But nothing has stood out as like, that's garbage. It's just like, it's okay. Everything about it is okay.
Other thing I saw was that it's set 10 years after Inquisition.
Right.
Which felt weird to me. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
With how Inquisition and its DLC ends, I'm like, we've gone 10 years from that?
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Like,
well, eventually we meet
that seems very, I'm like, this just seems like really disconnected.
The Inquisitor shows up eventually, so I'm hoping to find out, but yeah.
I'm cool. The Inquisitor still exists. That's cool. But there was such immediacy and urgency from the end of Inquisition DLC that it seems weird to jump 10 years. Because there was some serious, like, oh crap, Solus is going to do some shit. Like, now we've waited and he hasn't done anything for 10 years? Like,
well, and that's the part that's the issue, I think, for some people, is like Solus is doing a thing and you step in and it's like, that's the first 30 minutes of the game. And then it moves on, where I won't tell you, spoil it or whatever, but like, felt, as someone who put 60, 70 hours in Inquisition but did not finish it, even for me, it felt unsatisfying. But it's still, again, I'm enjoying it. I played 12 hours or 13 hours so far. I'm going to play more. This will not be on my top 5 of the year, unless something drastically changes. But it's certainly, I've gotten my money's worth out of it so far, and I'm enjoying it for what it is. I just had a podcast with Bill, the last podcast, where we talked about the things that we are liking about it. I've been playing on Steam Deck a little bit too. I know they put a lot into getting on Steam Deck. It runs poorly on Steam Deck, from my opinion. It drops down to like 20 frames per second quite often. So I don't play it on Steam Deck very often.
Okay.
And
it's hard for an action game, I'll be honest.
And I fucked with the settings a lot based on like what was recommended, and it's like, it works. Like, if it will work on the Steam Deck, it's just not, preferable.
Yeah. Okay.
But thank you for reminding me about that.
Eventually I'll probably want to pick it up. I like the universe, and I'll at least want to know what's going on. But I also haven't seen anything coming out. There's my worry. I haven't seen EA talking anything about its sales.
True. Yeah.
They haven't said a whole lot there. They're like, BioWare put out some stats on like what people were picking, like class and species wise and all that. But I'm like, feel like if this was doing really well, EA would be like talking it up. But I worry that it's not overall. Again, because I don't think the marketing was great to begin with for it. But I'm worried that if this isn't selling that well, this is the end of Dragon Age as a game franchise for because EA. It's EA. They're not going to put money into it unless it reaches a certain point.
Exactly. Yep.
And I know BioWare's all on to Mass Effect. Do we call it 4 or 5? 4?
I think we're calling it 5.
Are they calling it 5? They just slip an Andromeda in there as like.
I mean, I don't know if I've heard EA say it, but I've heard other people refer to it as Dragon Quest.
The fifth Mass Effect game.
Yeah, Mass Effect 5. Exactly.
I'll call it the 5th Mass Effect game because I don't want to call it 5 yet. I don't want to acknowledge Andromeda into that.
I should remember this, but my memory is that you didn't play Andromeda to completion. Is that right?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
it was Mass Effect fan fiction. It was not good.
Yeah, it was not good. I played like 2
and bad.
Actually,
that feels bad. Fan fiction can be very good. This was just not good fan fiction.
Yeah.
It just never felt like it fit at all. It's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. Trying to see. I thought that SteamDB would tell me sales. Is that no? That's not right. Oh, okay. I guess you just look at charts. You can just look at peak. Right now, 17,000 players are paying, and 24-hour peak is 40,000. So that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not...
Number 26 in top sellers, also not bad.
Okay, not bad. Let's move it along there. That one.
Owner estimate. No, those are wildly weird.
Yeah. Okay. There's no great way for SteamDB to get that info anymore. They used to be able to. Use a couple like weird tricks to get really close to ownership, but Valve made those hidden, so now they can't.
I'm sure the companies didn't want that being too public, so
yeah, and Valve didn't want it too public. That's not it's really not their thing that they want. I'm trying to look through here. Yeah, because there used to be a way that you could like, especially games that had trophy type stuff, especially if they had like an really early trophy, do like the most basic thing. You could, if it said,
you could see how
50% of people have completed that. You're like, okay, what's the total percentage of people that complete it? All right, double that. That's how many people own the game.
Sure.
That became hidden by default on profiles, so they can't pull that data anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I don't know, but that is my one worry, is that EA is just gonna abandon this in the end. Not BioWare, but EA will just come in and be like, no, don't do it anymore. You will do Mass Effect now, and that either has to do really good or not, and if it doesn't, then I doubt there's any more BioWare.
Yeah.
Because it's EA, and it's only money that matters to them.
Totally, yeah. It just feels like it's done decently. You know, it's not blowing the door off of fucking anything, but I feel like people have been generally positive about it, or ish enough. So, yeah,
that's the hope.
But you know, we're gonna get Mass Effect for sure. That's
coming. That's happening.
Then that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the thing that determines everything. I think, like you said.
Yeah, so, I would agree.
Yeah. Man,
yeah,
check in our. Sorry, go ahead.
You probably destroyed me.
I'm pivoting to Fantasy Critic. Oh, my God, just this is an absolute slaughter, and I feel bad. I want you to do this again with me next year.
Oh, I will. It's fine. I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot in the end.
Oh, absolutely, it is. Yeah,
I mean, like any fantasy sport, it's a complete kind of crapshoot.
Hey, I'm first in my fantasy football league. It's all skill. Just kidding.
I'm sure it is.
I fucking auto drafted. No, it's not.
You're very good at picking things.
Nope, I auto drafted, man. They picked for me.
Very good at the random numbers.
Exactly. My my friends I'm playing with are pretty pissed that I didn't choose 90% of my people. But yeah, you're at 235 right now, and I'm at 374.
Oof.
Yeah. You know, like Lego Horizon Adventures is at 72. Yeah. Whereas this week I picked up Dragon Quest 3. That's when I picked it from the weekend.
Nice.
85.
Yeah.
So, and you know, based on Final Fantasy 1, I'm looking forward to jumping into fucking Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah, it's one I'm gonna have to pick up at some point. I've over the past few weeks, I have now put in this thing. I don't know how much I'm going to hold to it, but I actually don't want to buy a lot of new games. One, I want to save my gaming budget because I want to buy Final Fantasy Magic cards.
Hell yeah, man.
And I'm like, I'd have to like buy less video games if I'm going to do this because, oh boy, yeah, they announced that like years ago, and it's finally, I'm like, yes, give me more information. They gave me 6 pictures. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, God damn it!
Yep.
Like, I hate. That's it. Okay, but it's June, coming out in June, and I'm going to buy a crap ton of that thing because it's going to have characters from all the games. I'm going to hopefully be able to make a Balthier and Fran deck. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Clive deck. Yes.
I'm gonna buy like a fucking like based on how this year's going and how like I'm after 1, I just want to jump right into Final Fantasy 2. Although I should polish off fucking Rebirth. I'm gonna buy like boxes of those fucking cards.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. I'm like, oh god, they got me.
They have us exactly.
So, but from that, I'm like, I should just. There's a lot of games that I've bought that I have never touched, even on like Switch. Like,
yep.
Maybe I just don't buy games and I just play the games that I own.
That would be really cool. You know, I started the backlog thing myself this year and then pivoted that into that fucking podcast. But it would be cool if we like did that, had like a commitment together to do that. Because
I will buy one new game next year for sure. Like I can do this except for one thing. I need Monster Hunter.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's the only new game that I'm like, no, I need that one.
Exactly.
But if I just was like, no, I'm not going to buy anything but that one, which is great. That will give me months of entertainment.
The thing that's going to fuck all that up, Anthony, and I don't know, we'll see how fucking tariffs ruin this, but fucking Switch 2 is coming out next year, man.
That is a thing. If that happens, then things are off the table. I have to get Switch.
Well, even just the commitment. What's that?
Depends on the launch lineup, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's true. The commitment I made this year to play more and buy fewer games, I bought quite a few new games, but I didn't buy as many as I did, in the previous years. And I played more on my backlog, and it was great. I have so many awesome games. Fucking yeah. I don't need to keep spending to.
Yeah, I just have to balance it because I don't think my marriage will take how much I'm going to spend on Final Fantasy Magic cards unless I can cut back in other places. Why are they doing this to me? Why is this happening?
Capitalism.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the Secret Lair stuff has been pretty cool. Thanks for the Baldur's Gate 3 one.
Yeah, I actually just got a new one too. I got Storm. Marvel. X-Men. Storm.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
They put out a Marvel Secret Lair because there's Marvel sets coming next year as well. And this is kind of their first thing. And they had Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, Wolverine, and Storm. And I really like Storm. So I was like, sure, I'll pick up Storm. And she's cool. So
that is
cool. I'm kind of back in Magic a bit. My kid likes it. So that I didn't need a lot to be like, oh, play Magic again. It's not hard. So
we played a bit with Assassin's Creed. Now we're in a lull, so I'm not buying any, which is great. But we are definitely doing that next year. Oh my god,
Final Fantasy.
Hell yeah, can't wait. All right. Well, anything else for the podcast?
No, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Really glad to have you here. We'll be back next week to talk about the Game Awards nominees and run through what we think is going to win. Looking forward to that. I love Game Award time. Not a fan of the Summer Game Fest stuff too much, but this stuff is fun. So looking forward to it. All right, folks. If you like us, please rate us on your podcast service of choice, and we will see you next week.
Later, everyone.